It is wonderful to have you with us today for Lviv, Ukrainian Beauty in a Historic City. Lviv city is the largest city in western Ukraine and the sixth largest city of the country, situated around 70 kilometers, 40 miles from the border of Poland. The city is made up of two parts. First, there is the castle, its surrounding area, and city center, and second, a smaller area which sits on St. Yuri's Hill. The estimated population is 721,000 people. In the late Middle Ages, around 1256, King Daniel of Galatia founded Lviv and named it in honor of his son Lev. But during recent archaeological excavations, it was discovered that Lviv was likely first populated prior to this in the 5th or 6th century. Today, the city is one of the main cultural centers of Ukraine. The city centre was developed in the 14th century. It features well-preserved Eastern European urban buildings, including many monasteries and residences of the Renaissance and Baroque traditions. The old buildings and cobblestone streets have survived numerous historical events, and Lviv's parks were built on the original site of medieval fortifications. The ensemble of St. Yuri is situated on a mountain to the southwest of Lviv. This complex was the heart of the Hellenchnia church metropolis. It features buildings primarily in Baroque style with high artistic value. Lviv's many historic churches, buildings and relics date from as early as the 13th century to the early 20th century. And the architecture naturally reflects a wide range of European styles and periods. The buildings feature many stone sculptures and carvings, particularly on the large doors, which are hundreds of years old. Prominent national figures and historical events are remembered and reflected in the city's magnificent outdoor sculptures. Lviv welcomes religious diversity. The Christian churches there have existed since the 13th century, and the Golden Rose Synagogue was built in Lviv in 1582. Lviv was very cosmopolitan even in medieval times, as the city was positioned on a key route where merchants from other parts of Europe gathered, met and traded. The political and commercial role of Lviv attracted a number of ethnic groups with different cultural and religious traditions. Ukrainians, Poles, Armenians, Jews, and Germans have harmoniously lived together in Lviv for hundreds of years, together creating a flourishing administrative, religious, and commercial center over many centuries. This wealth and diversity are evident in the sublime Renaissance and Baroque houses and churches, and many top Ukraine museums, galleries, and performing arts venues are found in Lviv. This beautiful city has truly earned the name Ensemble of the Historic Center. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, placed Lviv on its World Heritage List in 1998. Lviv's medieval urban topography has been preserved to reflect the synthesis of Eastern European traditions and architecture, and the influences from Italy and Germany. The Vysotsky, or High Castle, and Podziemie, the area around the castle, are the main and oldest parts of the city, dating back to the 5th century. The original topography, a hill on which the castle once sat, remains. The High Castle Hill crests at 413 meters, or 1,355 feet above sea level. At this height, it offers a 360-degree view of the city, from which the palaces, towers and spires of old Lviv, along with the Khrushchevka housing blocks of the suburbs, can be clearly seen. The lowlands were developed between the 13th and 17th centuries. Today, amidst the original system of streets and squares, the surviving buildings include a mosque, a synagogue, and a variety of religious buildings from the Orthodox, Armenian, and Catholic churches. Lviv is a city renowned for classical arts. The works of one of the most distinguished sculptors in Europe, Johann Georg Pinsel, can be seen on the facade of St. George's Cathedral. Today, Lviv is a city of modern ideas and contemporary characters. There are 20 galleries, and Lviv's National Art Gallery is rated as the largest museum of arts in Ukraine, with approximately 62,000 artworks including paintings, sculptures and drawings from Western and Eastern Europe, created during the Middle Ages to the current day. What's more, Lviv holds the third largest theatre in Central Europe, the Skarbek Theatre, which was opened in 1842. With regards to universities and academia, the University of Lviv is classified as one of the oldest in Central Europe. Some of the most prominent music academies and music colleges of Ukraine are also in Lviv, along with a factory that specifically makes stringed musical instruments. Lviv is the birthplace of many composers and famous musicians, such as the flute virtuoso and composer Albert Franz Doppler, the classical pianist Mieczyslaw Horoszyewski, and the opera diva Solomia Krosielniecka, among others. As for tourism, Lviv is understandably one of Ukraine's major tourist destinations. There are more than 2,000 registered landmarks within the city. The most popular attraction is none other than the Old Town and the Market Square, covering around 18,300 square meters in the city centre. Other popular tourist attractions include the Black House, the Armenian Cathedral, the complex of Dormition Church, the St. Peter and Paul Church of the Jesuit Order, the Kornet Palace, the Chapel of the Boym family, the Pharmacy Museum, the enchanting Armenian Street, Lviv Theatre of Opera and Ballet, the Museum of Folk Architecture and Rural Life, and the House of Scientists, to name a few. Lviv has been described by tourists as a cozy destination with a vibrant energy that makes you want to get outside and be a part of the big, beautiful world. During the holiday season in Lviv, Christmas decorations are up until mid-March. On April 1st, when the sun rises, awnings go up, tables come out, and the restaurants and cafes spill out onto the cobblestone streets to enjoy the warmer weather. In either season, Lviv is festive and fun. Street performers dot the squares, cafes, restaurants and shops, entertaining those passing by. The center of Lviv is always closed to traffic so pedestrians can enjoy the streets and squares. Visitors are able to visit all of the museums, churches, and vegan restaurants on foot. This authentic city has maintained its characteristic topography of hills, plateaus, and river valleys, and celebrates an authenticity of design preserved in so many of its early residences. The original layout and materials used in the interior decoration, such as wall paintings, stained glass windows, and exterior ornamentation, are a delight to behold. Large stone blocks and bricks are visible in their construction. Lviv has nationally been designated as a historical and architectural treasure and was preserved on June 12, 1975 under the Law on Monuments of History and Culture. The Council of Ministers has listed 209 historic monuments as national landmarks. This legislation imposes strict control on any activities proposed within the protected area that may have an adverse impact on their outstanding universal value. Every year, a plan for the restoration of monuments is approved with particular attention given to public welfare and the reconstruction of engineering networks for the structures. Vehicles in certain areas are restricted and buses rerouted. We praise such historic and cultural treasures such as those found in Lviv may long be enjoyed by the heroic people of Ukraine and their global family.
Vegan, 'cause we are not dead carcass gobblers.
Dearest viewers, we treasure your valuable time with us today.